Hi there. In today's video, we're going to continue polyvagal and stretching. The pose that we are going to do today, hi Lila. The pose that we're going to do today is a back bend, and we'll go into cobra pose. So to start, like always, we're first going to check in with ourselves and take our breath or do a little breathing practice. So you can sit down, lay down, however you like to do it. I'm just going to show you seated because that's how I usually do it. But close your eyes or look down and just take a breath in through your nose and a breath out. And as you're breathing, the breath is already a really good tool in finding out what state you might be in today. And so we'll just briefly kind of go over those states. Do you feel calm and socially engaged? Do you feel like running? Do you feel like just laying down doing nothing? Do you feel like appeasing others? Do you feel like fighting? Maybe you want to break something. Sometimes, we feel that. Another interesting thing too is as we breathe here, I don't necessarily want you to try this, but I just want to make a note of how we breathe can also affect our nervous system. And so as you're breathing in through your nose and breathing out through your mouth, that's a very regulating kind of breathing. However, if you were to breathe in through your mouth, like that gasp that sometimes we can make, and then breathe out, that can already send you into an activation of sorts and take you out of your ventral vagal and into a sympathetic chain activation response. So I'm just doing that to show as an example. I don't necessarily want you to try that. You can try it, of course, if you're curious, but I just thought it was interesting how the breath can do that. So let's take a couple more breaths here. And then blink your eyes open if you've closed them. Prepare yourself to move. And what we'll do today is we will come up onto the hands and knees so that way we can lower down onto the belly. And sometimes it feels good to just kind of lay on the forehead. So I have my hand underneath my forehead. And sometimes I just like to be here. I'll bend my knees and let the knees go side to side. You can lower the feet down if you've done windshield wipers here. And then find stillness. Inhale, come up into a sphinx. So bring the elbows underneath the shoulders. Have your forearms parallel to each other, the palms pressing down. And draw your heart towards the top of your mat. Hi, Lila. Yes, I will let you out soon. Draw the shoulder blades down the back. Now, if you find more length in the front of the neck, again, remember this can change your state. So if you're wanting to stay in a calmer state, it might be best to just kind of look down and draw the chin down for a moment. And then once you start to feel safe in your back bend, then try to change the shape there and the length in the front of your neck. Now, option to press into the tops of the feet and lift the kneecaps. This makes the legs a bit more active. I like to just kind of relax here, so I'm just going to let my knees stay on the ground and not press into the front of the feet. Now, back bends are naturally activating because they do change the breath, and I do feel like it is a bit more challenging to breathe here because of that change of in the spine and in your diaphragm. And so we're trying to find that balance of where can I still feel calm despite there being some activation here. And that's a different state. So there's actually states where you can be in activation, but you can still be in ventral vagal. So it's like an activation with the ventral vagal. And we know this as maybe sports. So we know that if win or lose, it's not really life or death. However, we can have fun and we can compete and we can challenge each other. Inhale. You are whiny today. Yes, this is Lily. She wants to go outside and sunbathe, and she picked right now as we are stretching. Soon, Lily. Oh, she's stretching too with us. And so check in with your breath. That's always going to be a really nice clue in what's happening in our bodies and what state we're in. Now, if you like, you can lower down onto the hands, lift the elbows, and on your next inhale, take a cobra pose. So this kind of takes a little bit more activation in the spine. Now you don't have the elbows under you helping to lift up. So you may need to push into the ground into the palms a little bit, squeeze the shoulder blades down the back, and then you may also want to try to test lifting the hands and fully activating in your spine, and then pressing into the tops of the feet and lifting the kneecaps. And so as we find that activation here, again, we're trying to remind ourselves that there are different states where we can have this activation and still feel connected, still feel calm and engaged. And in this moment, since we are with ourselves, it would be an engagement or a connection to ourselves. Another thing that helps is, can you talk? So if you can talk here and you feel comfortable and calm with that talking, yes, you are probably in both states. Now, if you are holding your breath, you find it really hard to utter a word, that can also be a clue of where you're at. Inhale and exhale, slowly lower back down onto your forehead. Inhale, you can press up to your tabletop, hands and knees. And then exhale, child's pose, bringing your knees as wide as your mat, bringing the feet together, maybe the big toes cross over each other. Walk the hands forward and place the forehead down. Now, I am adjusting because I have a microphone and I still want you to be able to hear me. But you can reach your arms overhead, palms face down, eyes closed. Now, the other thing that can happen is we can be in ventral and dorsal vagal. So, when you feel shut down, that can be one thing. However, you can also feel calm and maybe like slow and just relaxing while also still being in ventral vagal. It's a combination. So the best example I can give of this is when we cuddle. We are not really moving, but we still feel safe. We still feel engaged and connected to each other. So offer yourself a moment to cuddle here with your own self. Option to nod your forehead side to side. You can also reach your fingertips forward and lift the elbows. Sometimes this can be a nice way to get a bit more length in your sides of the body. And then next inhale, come up to your tabletop, and exhale, have a seat. So hopefully you are enjoying this series this month where we are learning about polyvagal and stretching. I'm just happy to have you here and follow along. Thank you for joining this class. And then if you also have any suggestions, let me know how this felt in your body. You can leave a comment below. Let me know what you want to see for next month. I'm always taking suggestions for the next series, the next theme, because I do themed months based on that. And if you have any tips of what's helped you with your anxiety, if you have OCD, stress, overwhelm, any of those, this is a community, this is a space where we can share that and kind of help each other out and have that component of self-compassion where we're not alone in this. We can be in this together. Namaste. And now I'm going to go let Lily out.